What is up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Camera Junkie livestream. My name's Luis, also known as Mr. Camera Junkie. Proud to remind you to upgrade your skills before your gear. And if you're interested in more content where I can educate you on avoiding all the hype of getting the latest and greatest and making the most out of your gear, then you found the right place. And I advise you to like and subscribe. But as tradition goes around here at the live stream, the first thing that we always do is go ahead and check out to see who are the first camera junkies hanging around in the chat. So let's go ahead and do that. Come on, Stream Deck, work with me. All right, let's go ahead and see that. You know what? I got to turn on this fan. I've been doing so much in the last half an hour. Need to get something to cool me off. All right, that's gonna make a huge difference. All right, first I have here is Mr. Parker Jennings saying hello to everyone. How are you? We also got Randy in the house saying hello. Gretchen here saying hi to me, Aiden, and the crew. Happy Valentine's Day. That is very true. Thank you for reminding me. Happy Valentine's Day to all, and to all of you hanging out with me on this night. Hopefully you've already, done your nightly routines of Valentine's Day, so I wish you all the best on this holiday. Everybody's saying what's up to each other. Paul saying greetings to everyone and saying hi to everyone. We got Mookie in the house also saying hello to everyone. Carlos Tacos saying what's up. Well, what's up with you, man? Love the avatar. Love tacos. I actually just had tacos, but that's what I ate. I had some leftover tacos and I just heated them up real quick and just took them out. They were really good. I find a taco that I really haven't liked, but that's a conversation for another day. Yeah. Says, oh, you like that? Yes, I had to switch things up, but that was something that I spoke to someone about, like a coach, right? And I was like, that's like potential ad space, but I should be advertising for myself. So I switched it up from the Ecamm to the MCJ, and I 3D printed it in no time because I already had the file for the light cover. So all I did was just like print out the letters like oversized and then like double-sided tape them on there, and that was it. So it was like super easy, but I really like the way it looks and it changes the color. So the white light, I like it as well. So thank you. Like Mookie says, the MCJ logo is 3D printed 100%. You just heard me snitch on myself, but yeah, like I said, all I did was just remake those letters just oversized in the same font, which is Norwester, the one that I kind of like brand everything. Is just like easy to read, but also it's copyright free, so I'm able to like brand everything and not have any troubles with selling any items that have that as the font, as a font face or typeface. That was font face. Listen to me, font face. All right. But I just had a burrito. That's also in the fridge. You understand? Like there's one that might be after show, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. But today, what are we talking about today? Today is that I'm actually putting my camera and lens setup to test. Now, right now, because of the latest update, and some of you saw it a couple of weeks ago, Tahoe's not acting 100% good on the update that I did on my computer, and most likely I'm going to have to reformat my computer to get all the wrinkles out. And the wrinkles that I'm talking about is just a bit of choppiness that I even see myself here in the video, and I wish I were to say like it was my application or something like that, or the camera. Absolutely not. For example, this is the camera that I've been rocking right there for the longest time. If you can see the field of view looks a little bit different, a little less wide, is because we're using the A6100, and I knew that that one was giving no issues with 4K or anything like that, so I threw that on there into the setup, and I'm still getting that bit of choppiness. Now it's not too bad, it's not freezing 100%, but it's still choppy. Even, for example, let me go to flawlessly, and this is exactly what I'm saying. There's no choppiness, there's like no lag. I could see how smooth everything's flowing, is just working the way it should. And today we're putting to test the new 18 millimeter, and I say new, but I've had it for a minute. I've shot on it but haven't really put it on the live stream. Here is the 18 millimeter T1.8 from Red. So now this is a Red Cinema lens on the Red Cinema Red 1. Let me get all of these words correctly. So it's a Red Cinema lens on my Red 1 MX camera, and these are like period correct, so to speak. So this is a lens that Red was providing when they were providing this camera around, say, like 16 to 17 years ago. So this is Red Cinema quality. Oh, I was muted that whole other scene. Probably. Thank you for letting me know, Paul. Hey, we got Carlos in the house as well. Bokeh Bushido saying hello to everyone. How are you, sir? So thank you for that information. I'll make sure I'll take a look at that scene if I go back to it, to the producer. All right, I should be fine now. Perfect. Okay, thanks for that, Paul. So while I was here trying to say that I was still getting choppiness on the Nikon Z30, which is this camera, but that we're not getting any choppiness on the Red one. So Red 1 MX with the 18 millimeter T1.8, and let me give you the exact specs, because right now its native ISO is 800, so I left it there and I didn't want to like bring it down, because this is gonna be the best dynamic range that we would get out of this camera. So in the native 800, I have it stopped down to okay, so I have it stopped down to T4, and that's exactly, so you know, F4 not really, but T4, and that's what we're looking at right now. So the Red 1 MX ISO 800 red log, actually red log or red color? Yeah, actually red color, and I'll probably, I can let you know which one it is later. Red color. This is straight out of camera into a video capture card, and that's it. And like, it's super wide. It's super wide. It's almost like to the point where, you know, we can make it cinematic, right? No, this isn't the right one. What is it? Here we are. This is the shot. Those got mixed up. Right there. So from here to here, all we're doing is just adding the crop bars onto it, and we're getting that super panoramic. You're not gonna get the lens flares as an anamorphic, but with ultra wide lenses like this, you'd be able to pull something off. And this is a pretty good look. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like this, as far as a movie goes, like look at the fall off on the computer, man. That Chris. Chris is popping up on all my computers, but anyway, but like, as you can see, that's what I was trying to say, like show the fall off, you know, like the blurriness that you're getting off of the sides. See how like in focus, but Like, this is a really nice shot. Oh, and the other thing is that these colors are straight out of the camera. Another thing that I wanted to mention, that I was talking to Randy about it in the comments, was that I shot some log footage with the Nikon ZR, and I threw a Sony LUT on it, and it worked. Like the Sony S-Log2 LUT, it just looked good. I then, white balanced it correctly to the gray card. Bam, colors were on point. I was like, don't have to do much more after that. So just wanted to share that with you, that I actually used the Sony S-Log2 LUT, the cinema one, for S-Log2 on my red footage and red raw, the red R3D NE off the Nikon ZR, and it looks good. So far so good. So, but yeah, so this is the look that we're getting out of it. Now I really want to compare this because I do have the Nikon ZR and I have the PL mount adapter for my Sony cameras, but I also have the Sony adapter for the Nikon cameras, the Metadapt adapter, Megadapt. But I actually have the newer branded one. So I have that adapter, the E to Z, and I'll throw that on the Nikon Z, and then I'll throw the PL adapter for the Sony onto that, and then throw this lens onto the ZR. And then I'll be able to compare the original raw files from, R3D to the new R3D NE. So that's gonna be fun. Let me know what you guys think of this shot, because I'm absolutely I'm loving it. And plus it's the one that's actually giving the least amount of lag with my setup right now. And so I think I'm gonna be rocking this one, even though I'm looking at the teleprompter over here. So you see, so everybody's saying what's up to Carlos. We got Nano in the house also in here saying what's up, how are you? Yes, sir. Okay, so now going back to my monologue story, because that's what ended up happening this week. Things happen for a reason, and this is gonna fall into the bit of the category of the person who invented peanut butter. The person who invented peanut butter was trying to do something else and then ended up with peanut butter, so to speak. And that's something that happened this week as well. So what did I end up concocting, so to speak? Well, like I said, I've been having trouble with the latest update with the Tahoe, right? So I've been trying to do everything in my power, literally everything in my power, to try to avoid to reformat the computer. And like I mentioned before, I think I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and redo it to get the computer to work the way that I need it to. So before I got to that conclusion, I tried to see what I can do with the computer as it is before I had to draw to that conclusion of I'm gonna have to reformat. So my last straw ditch effort, so to speak, was that I went and I decided to make my own app. And now some of you know that I'm using the app, or was, for my anamorphic, which is still working fine, but my computer isn't. And because it wasn't, I optimized the application even more to make it usable, even though my computer's not acting correctly. So I know that that's actually working even better than I first launched. So that is firing on all cylinders at the moment. The next thing is that I wanted to create an app where it kind of cleans up the computer and maybe fixes some of the things that the update kind of screwed up. Now, like the peanut butter story, unfortunately that did not work out, right? It just didn't. But at the end of the day, I did end up making a computer optimization program, which I'm going to share with you guys now. Let me see if I could pull this up. Okay, this is the application itself. So let me go ahead and open it. And then I should be able to share it here. I'm just gonna bring it onto this screen instead of trying to do the other ones because of all the cameras that are not working correctly. Or better said, my computer that's not allowing the cameras to work correctly. Let me see. Okay, that is it, but not it. Let me see. There we go. Bam. Okay, let's bring it over here because I'll be looking at it like that. So at least congruently it looks the same. All right. So this is my application that I've developed this week called Momentum. So let me go ahead and get in here. So that just covered my view. Okay. You know, like whenever you click onto another application in Ecamm, that it automatically like just opens up a preview window, and that blocked my application. Okay, so back to it. This is my application, Momentum, and this is what I ended up creating, which I'm gonna now end up putting at the App Store. And if any of you guys are interested in giving it a test run, just hit me up, you know, shoot me a DM on IG, and you know, I'll be happy to send it along. I'm still working on the actual logo itself, right? I'm gonna be using the same little like icon that we see here with the like lightning bolt, but I haven't been able to put it onto the application itself. So right now it's blank. 24-hour boss, how are you doing, sir? Welcome, welcome. I love seeing new people here. Okay, so once again, this is the application that I end up making kind of like my peanut butter, and now the application is fully functioning and it does what it's supposed to do. It just didn't end up fixing my computer. So that's like the irony of it. Like it is a fully working application. And let me just show you how it works. So it's an optimization, and it's just like make almost like a clean my Mac. That's basically what it ended up coming out to be. So to optimize, we just start clicking on it, and as soon as we do, it starts optimizing your computer. As you can see, it already says it cleared the DNS cache, cleared the user cache, temporary files, and I just freed up 1.01 gigabytes of space. And that's how easy it is. And now that that's done, that's like the first step. But of course, I wanted to add more things to it because I was trying to fix my computer. So we have these tabs here on the top. I hope this is coming across correctly. So we have these tabs over here on the top. This one is the monitor, and this allows you now to monitor your computer, right? Your CPU usage, your memory usage, right? If you want, you click this, you get your activity monitor, which you're not seeing, but it did open up on my computer. Login items, it also opens up your settings application here, which once again you can't see, but it opens up the settings to the point where you can see which are the login items, or better said, your startup items, and make sure that you remove those so those don't bug you. The one that is not on that list, and I'm still trying to figure out, which is probably going to be another iteration of this same application, is Grammarly. Right, Grammarly always starts up on the boot up, and it's like, even though I love using it, it's a pain in the butt when you're trying to type on anything else when it's open, because it literally covers like your icon of like your text icon. So with that being said, I'm looking into removing that as a startup item, but it's not on that list. So that, you know, it's using a workaround, so to speak, and it's still starting up every time I reboot my computer. But I'm gonna get to Grammarly. Nonetheless, this is the application, right? And this is just the usage. The next tab is storage, which is your disk storage, and is letting you know, like I'm definitely under warning on my Mac Studio over here. It's telling me that I'm in the 78%, right? And I believe Max, you still want to leave like around 30% free space, right? So that would be around 70 to 30, and that's where this will get from warning high usage. But at the same time, you could manage storage, which you're able to click this, and once again you get into your settings with your hard drive space, and open your home folder, which is just your standard hard drive. You know what, let me make this bigger, because just seeing the application is not really demonstrating. So I'm gonna go ahead and this over here, and then I'm gonna change this to the primary display. Yep. Okay. Like you see the momentum here that is blank. That's the, like I said, I don't have an icon for it right now, but like I was saying, now I can show that if I click this, right, to manage, you get your general information, right, which is where you click your storage, and now you're able to start managing the data on your hard drive, right? You open the home folder, you get the home folder right there, which allows you to get into like all your files on the actual hard drive. Then actually go back to monitor to show you, right? Activity monitor, it pops up right away. And then login items, same thing. You see, now you get the login items here, and you're able to remove them or add the login items or your startup items in this section. So now we go to the cleanup, right? And this is actually something that I added that I'm like, this is just like quality of life features, right? Search for big files. So now you're able to scan your computer, and it's going to give you the list of your top 10 like biggest files. And like, let's say you're not familiar, exactly sure before you delete them, right? You also have the ability to show the file itself so that you find the actual file and be like, oh yeah, you know what, I actually need that, so I'm not gonna delete it, right? So that is not just like, you know, useless, so to speak. It's very useful and allowing you to find your biggest files on the computer and then quickly assess to see if they're actually worth removing or if they're worth keeping. And once you select a file or two that you want to remove, you'll get a prompt here at the bottom, right, to delete that file and how big that file is. If you delete 3 or 4 of these files, then as soon as it's done, it's gonna repopulate with the top 10 biggest files to allow you just to continue to do it slowly and at your pace, and not get kind of swamped with too many files and then deleting too many that I've done, unfortunately, with other programs. So I built it kind of fail safe to prove, like, safe proof it for myself because of all of the errors that I've done. So that's the way that works. And then another option is the scan for duplicate files. So now I really I got into a new algorithm where it's not just looking at the file sizes and the names, but actually looking at the code and making sure that it is an actual duplicate file so that it's 100% accurate, which is very important for me, especially as like a photographer. I would love to get rid of duplicate, you know, like picture files, but I also want to make sure that I'm not deleting the original. So when you actually hit to show the actual item, let me see, what's this? Thanks, Paul. What it does is going to actually open both files. Like, you see, this is actually showing you where it's at. Well, this is on the Mac Studio, right? So right now on the Mac Studio, I actually have the older version because I'm actually building this app on my laptop because I just wanted to check it out, and also wanted to see how powerful can you make an app on this like MacBook Air, and it's rocking it out because it's code, but nonetheless. The latest update on the MacBook Air actually opens up both files. So like once you select the file that is telling you like, hey, this is the duplicate file, it's not just showing you the duplicate, it's showing you the duplicate and the original, similar to like the big file deletion, so that you can double check that you're not deleting something that you don't need, right? And for that rare occasion, which I've seen it happen before, where two files are named the same and maybe even have the same file size, but they were completely different files, and one gets deleted forever. Well, I'm not using that as like the codex. So, like I said, they have to be the same actual internal file before it gets considered to be a duplicate, and you still have the ability to see both files before you delete it, and that's what I was able to create with this. So that's the cleanup, and then the about is just the information. Version 1.0, Mr. Camera Junkie's momentum cleanup app. And yeah, and that's what I was able to create. This is my peanut butter moment, so to speak. I love that, because I made this to do something that it didn't do, but it ended up working as something else entirely by itself and working well. Like it has helped, and like I checked the computers, I'm like, man, this is like working extremely well. So another thing that I'm proud of, and now I'm getting into the swing of things about creating applications for the things that I need, right? Very similar to the way that I create 3D designs for items that I 3D print to fulfill the same thing, the things that I need. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. So, I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking about. Let me go ahead and check the chat. Hmm. All right. So we were at 24-hour boss. Oh, I used AI. Absolutely. I'm not going to tell you that I've learned years and years of code in a moment. Absolutely not. But those are like my minions right now at the moment, so to speak. So like that is my employee, right? So I employ three AIs. I'm using Gemini, ChatGPT, and Claude. And between the three, actually, two of them, which is Claude and ChatGPT, are actually implemented within the Xcode application that I use to write code for all of these applications. So it's like it's right there as the companion. So um there's it's not easy, because it's I wish I could say the AI nailed it 100%, right? But once you learn how to work with the AI and you just gradually take it step by step and don't let it get ahead of itself, you're able to create things just like this, because now everything's working. I'm just asking it, like, hey, I want it to look like this, and hey, I want it to look like that, and hey, I want this tab over here, and I want that tab over here, and I want like these buttons. It's just those little like UX, right? User experience, right? The UX experience that you're able to implement as your app, instead of you trying to worry about writing all the code, right? So, for example, me being in the IT field, from my experience past, I've already dealt with people who write code. So when I had clients come to me and said, I need an application, I need a program to run for my business, right? I didn't know how to do it, so I hired somebody who did. And I hired that person, and they were very expensive, and the app didn't always work, and there was always issues, so it was constant like reiterations, and it was a hassle of a process. So I dealt with that, and I know how much money could be spent into that, and to be able to go through a similar type process with AI and then get your final product as if I was dealing with someone who did know how to code that I hired. Now I just hired the AI, and I'm able to produce the items that I need, like I said, to help me out and fix the things that I have. Like the other one is shot number one, which is my anamorphic app. Now, like I said, my computer isn't working 100% right now, but the application is, and this takes my anamorphic 1.33x squeeze Beetle lenses and now de-squeezes them in real time so that I can use them in a live stream, and that's what's getting that extra panoramic view. And that's how it works, because you see this is the red image, right? This is the red, and you can see this is the whole thing, but I can kind of mimic it by adding these bars and stretching it out because it's so wide. But now if I were to take the previous shot, right, this one right here, and I were to like kind of like add more bar, I'd be way too squoze. Like my face wouldn't even fit into it if it were just the regular. Actually, this is the best way I could explain it. If I were to just select my camera here, right, and then take off the digital zoom, this is what the camera looks normally. But with the digital zoom is what allows me to go backwards, so to speak. Instead of forward, I'm able to bring it back and get more of the sides of it. As you can see, the more I go, the more of the sides you actually see. But I leave it at what, like around 12%, I believe. Yeah, right there, like 12.5 to 13%. And it fits crispy. So that's what I was able to do with the same AI, create this application now suits my needs. And now it's available on the App Store for $19.99. And you can pick it up if you want to make your own anamorphic live streams. And like I said, if your computer isn't jacked up like mine is at the moment, it would be running a lot smoother than what it is right now. It would probably look like, oh, what happened here? Oh, I'm in the producer mode. Go back to this shot, and then I hit this one. It gets to this one, which is the smoothest camera working right now. Okay, so let me go back to it. But yeah, and that's just a lesson to everyone here, is like, utilize the tools that you have, because if you have the time and the vision and the patience to work with this, if you treat it like an employee the way I treated like the old programmers, you're able to get some amazing results. It says, how did you create the app? Yes, that's exactly how I did. So I'm glad that I was able to answer that. There's an audio delay, heads up. Okay, there probably is, and I apologize, because it's set up for the other cameras, right? Like I have 4 different cameras here, so like I can't get audio sync on all of them. But let me see if I can fix it just a bit. Okay. Hopefully the sync is a little bit better. It's probably not going to be 100%, but probably a little bit better. Thanks for that, Logan. Man, that scene is real bad, but this is my computer, guys. Like I said, I wish. Thanks for the info, guys. It's like it's drifting after a while. I have to look into it, but most likely I'm gonna be honest with you, is just I'm gonna have to reformat my computer. And you know what? We're gonna put it to the test. So if you're here right now and you're seeing all this bugginess, what I'm gonna do for next week is that next week I'm gonna do the live stream on my Mac Mini. Now I'm gonna have obviously less cameras available, but I'll still be able to rock it out. I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna do it, right? But I'm gonna grab my Mac Mini from the back, which is running tip-top shape right now, and I'm just gonna throw Ecamm and all the things that I need onto it to run the live stream. Once I'm done with that, that'll give me the time and the know-how to see how I'm gonna attack my Mac Studio. But that's gonna be like a culture shock, because like I said, this has, it's like your favorite pair of jeans. Like when you have everything set up exactly the way you like it, I'm gonna keep going back to it and be like, oh, why isn't it because I'm on the Mac Mini. But we'll do that for next week, and we'll see exactly how these cameras run, how my application runs, everything, and see how the anamorphic app and all of this runs all together. So we'll check it out for next week. So next week's live stream, I'm actually gonna set it up, and we're gonna be live streaming on the Mac Mini, on the M4 Mac Mini base model. Like, that's the funny thing. I don't think I've ever done that, and I know that computer's like, it's dope. Like, even the base model M4 Mac Minis, those things are dope. They run really well. 16 gigs of RAM compared to 64. Like, we're gonna put all of that to the test next week. So now I know what to make the thumbnail. Hey, what's up, Jeremy? Likewise, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for stopping by. Those days of programming. Now I gotta mention to you as well, the AI programming, Claude, bro. That I gotta give it up to Claude. The dude's a beast. The dude is a beast, and being able to have that conversation, so to speak, in real time, you're able to get a lot done. And once you see the AI writing all that code, like, because it's just doing it on the fly, and you're just seeing this stretches of code, man, it's impressive. It's impressive what the computers could do within themselves. And if you're able to be creative enough, right, to utilize that tool, you'll be able to make something maybe even better, So right now I'm gonna put this on the App Store, and we'll see where that leads, because I had a lot of fun. But I'm just like polishing off the edges, making sure that it's like fine-tuned, and then we'll see about a price. I'm gonna actually check the competitors' prices, and obviously try to undercut them, but just to see like what happens. We never know. Like, I've already and I want to thank everyone who has, right? I believe like 10 units of my anamorphic app have already sold through the App Store. So I'm like really excited for that potential as well, and I'm very grateful for the ones who have actually purchased it. Like, some people have purchased it in the UK and what was the other place? I can't remember right now, but I'm just like it's worldwide, right? So just, you could probably see the smile on my face. It's just something that's a level of accomplishment that's like, I wish everyone could feel. It's super cool. I wish that on everyone. It says one monitor, one monitor, keyboard, mouse, sharing two computers. The problem is when writing, finding out that one was done in the wrong machine. I think I said that correctly, but I'm guessing the sentiment is like, when the programs are writing with each other. That's another good thing about using the AI, because it's also web-based. So, for example, I'm on the laptop, but as soon as I'm done writing code with it, or I have another implementation to ask it, I can ask for it on my Mac Studio, and then still go back to the conversation on the laptop, because it's it's the same AI. So it's just working at it one way, yeah, getting at it from a different angle, so to speak, thinking outside the box. Says that's fire that you used to code. Guess I need to be it says more bold and do some coding with AI. Yeah, man. And if I can just give you like like a guide, Xcode. Xcode is what Apple uses for their computers, which is what I'm using. Like, I haven't even gotten into the world of Windows coding, right, and making programs for it, and people are already asking for it for the anamorphic app. So that's it's very humbling, right? It's I'm very grateful for that, and like I said, I think that's super cool. I would have never thought in a million years that I would have been adding program developer to my resume, but here we are. Says yes, that's command prompt lines were the days, man. I remember those. Like that's why I literally tell people all the time, like, man, I've forgotten more than most people have known in their whole lives, because anyone who wrote DOS, right, and used computers using command prompts, man, you know what I'm talking about. Like, my God, there's so many things that I've forgotten when it comes to Windows. And it's mostly been probably in like the last 10 years, probably since like Aiden was born. So I had to do that to my studio about a month ago. Yep. But I'm just like, I'm still sour about it, guys. Like, if I wouldn't have done this damn update, bro, that update got me, man. It got my computer. Everything was just. It's like, imagine this, right? You have a car and your car's working perfect. Have no problems with it. And yet the factory, you know, like the manufacturer of your car says, hey, there's a service call for like a catalytic converter on your car or something stupid like that, right? Like, hey, there's a recall, we need to bring the car in, we'll change it for free, just all we need is the time with the vehicle. And you're like, okay, and you set it up, and then when you get your car back, like, it's sluggish, like the check engine light is on, you know, like nothing's working, like the AC stopped working. Like, that's how I feel. Like, if I could put a feeling onto it, like, that's how I feel. I feel like I went in for a service call, and I anyways, let me get past it. Hey, what's up, Scott? How are you? Thanks for stopping in. Everybody's saying what's up to everyone. Who remembers Pascal and Logo? I'm not familiar with that. I'm gonna have to Google that. Nano says my primary computer is my iPad Pro M4 by default. Interesting. This is iPad. My Windows laptop is nearing the end of its lifespan and no longer receives Windows 10 support. Now, my Windows machine hanging out here in the back is actually, I think, still Windows 10. I didn't go to Windows 11 because I use it as a gaming machine. So, and all I've heard is just bad stuff about Windows 11. That's all I've heard. So I'm actually, honestly, very fortunate that right now I do all of my primary computing on a Mac, because I'm much happier with the operating system, even though it's not working correctly. Like, I know it will once I get it rebooted. I'm just being a bitch about like rebooting and having to redo all of the settings, like years and years of settings. I'm dreading it, but like I said, that's why stay tuned. Tune in next week where we'll be doing this on a Mac Mini M4, because I'm gonna have to do something. I'm gonna have to put my Mac Studio down while I do that. I haven't had any issues with Tahoe, but you reformatted before Tahoe, I believe, right? So I guess like it was better set for the update when it happened. Me, I was putting it off, and I just kind of knew. But it was already like, you get the update, so it's like 26.0, and then it was 26.0.1. I was like, okay, they already got some bug fixes. And then 26.0.2 came out, and then it had been like a good stretch with no other updates. So I'm like, okay, so it looks like we're good with this 26.0.2, and it got me. It still got me. Hey, what's up, Sammy? Let me see. Sammy's saying what's up. He's saying hello. How are you? Thanks for hanging out. It's been a long time. I haven't seen you hanging out here. Circa 1984 for the programming with those. Absolutely. Said totally remember Pascal and Logo. Okay, so that was like programming code from back in the day. That was probably when I was just 1984. I was 3 years old. So way before I got into Oregon Trail and stuff like that in school. Like me and my friend, but it was mostly her, and I will give her all the credit. But while we were playing together, we actually caught Carmen Sandiego one time, which was just, if you know, you know, because this girl was a brain. She knew, like, and we used to play it all the time. But one time we caught Carmen Sandiego, and that was the thing. She was a brain. Randy says, binary punch cards. Wow, CPM, etc. Glad those days are gone. Yeah, those were the first computers, punch cards. That's a history lesson if you want to take it down that road. Check out how IBM came to prominence with their cards. It says export all your Stream Deck profiles, and all my Ecamm profiles, and the Stream Decks are a lot, because you know me with my 15 key. I have that thing configured to the T because I'm limited on the keys. So all my pages and everything, and like the way that they automatically pop up and oh my God. And then I was even mentioning to you guys, like, I don't know if I'll be able to download these, but my user profiles for my Logitech keyboard and mouse, like, this is just as important as my Stream Deck, but I don't think that, like, this is what I'm gonna have to eventually do, guys. Like, straight up. This is what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to bust out my trusty little notepad over here, and on a clean sheet, go application to application, like the mouse, and actually write down all of the settings that I have for all the buttons so that I don't forget them or mess them up, just to save time, so that when I reboot the computer and I reset those apps, that I'm ready to go, and I'll just be like, what was it? Okay, just add them all in so that I can get back to working with it in that like nice flow as soon as possible. I have to go back to the old school carbon and paper. All right. Says, what are you streaming with? My Mac Studio right now. Like right now, this is the only camera that's working adequately. So if I mention, like, right now, this is my main camera, and there's a choppiness to it, right? I even go to my producer mode over here where I could switch from any of my cameras, and I select my Nikon Z30, and I'm getting that same like choppiness, right? Is not the camera. I just swapped the other one, the A6100, from the A7R2, because that was the one that was living there, and I was even thinking maybe my older camera is showing its age, but it's not, because I'm getting the same inconsistency with this camera, which is new. I've never had an issue with it. You know, this is like my backup camera, but then I want to use my anamorphic, right, which is this, and I want to show as much as I can with the anamorphic, also using my application. And I can't do that. Well, I can, but it's just like, you'll notice the difference, because as soon as I switch to this camera, you see how much smoother all the movements and everything are. It's just, for whatever reason, the codecs of this camera is running smooth and everything else is not. So we're rocking this camera. That's exactly what I was saying. It said, look at the bright side. You got an app out of it. It's a blessing in disguise. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like the guy who invented peanut butter, right? I think he gave it away to somebody because he was trying to do something completely different and saw it as like not the finished product that he wanted. There, somebody was like, this is amazing, right? And just started eating it right away. So my peanut butter moment, so to speak. That's exactly what I see this like. It wasn't something that it was intended, but I do like the ability to be able to create things that are very functional and useful as like an application. And if you do it correctly, you'll be able to post them on the app store, and you never know, it could be another form of revenue that just starts coming in just because you created something to fix something and it ended up fixing something else, right? I think that's also the way that Viagra started. I think it was a heart medicine and they just realized it was doing something else. So, right? The blessing in disguise. From your lips to God's ears, brother. Says, were you having issues with the Mac OS? Not with Sonoma. Sonoma was perfect, man. It was just perfection. But as soon as I updated to Tahoe, she been a says my issue is something eating disk space. Yeah, that's another thing that I'm gonna be like probably tweaking this app as well to. But that's also where I'm looking into the duplicate files and stuff like that. And then I think the final, like the cherry on top for my application as the final product is gonna be there. I'm gonna build in a app removal, like a uninstaller. That's the word. An app uninstaller that not only uninstalls the app, but that scrapes all the files that could be associated with it. And like I'm gonna test it on Grammarly. I'm coming for you, Grammarly. I am. Grammarly's gonna get it, and I'm gonna use this app. And be like, "Oh, gotcha." Yeah, where in the world is Carmen San Diego? Like I said, me and my friend. Oh, what was her name? Oh, I'm running a blank on her name right now, and it was like so clear when I first started. She was so smart. Yeah, we were in I think third grade. Third grade, playing on the computer. Where in the world is Carmen San Diego? When we actually were able to get it and find her. I think the location was like the Louvre. Yeah, the Louvre in Paris was the location where she was found, but that was years ago. Like I said, it was mostly her. She answered most of them. I was just there because it was our turn to play, but she was a beast. But we did it. I said I was a computer operator in college. Only punch cards. Oh my god, look at that. So I was teaching logo in third graders and on Commodore PET computers in 1984. Wow. Excuse me, let me clear my throat. Miss those floppy drives, right? Those were actually floppy drives. You see, like that's what. Thank you, Carlos. You know, you're bringing this up because those were floppy drives. Like they were like paper, and you could flop them. And then you got the little mini discs that then those got called floppy drives just because they were in a similar shape. But those are hard as, you know, those are hard plastic, which worked a lot better, don't get me wrong, and those were amazing, right? The 2.5s, but those weren't original floppies. So I was like, why would you call this a floppy when you have a floppy, right? You have a floppy where you would try to put the thing, and if you didn't get it just right, it will flop on you, you know, like a too soft piece of bread or something. Those are floppy drives. So man, those were like, they look like an exclamation point, right? Like it was just that slit and then the big hole on the big floppy square, man. Those were the days. I had to reset my Mac the other day and refresh the eCam. Interesting. So it's not just me having these issues. Everybody's like dreading the memory of the punch cards. I still remember when you were doing everything on the 2012 Mac Mini. I know. Can you believe that? Like, I saw a picture of that the other day, and the way that I had the two Mac Minis next to each other so that I can do multiple things at the same time, because neither of them were quite powerful enough, but together, you know, Wonder Twins power combined. They actually did a lot of work, because when I would just put something to render on one machine, I would jump and start working on the other. So it served its purpose. I lost my SD profiles, that's Stream Deck profiles, because I forgot to do that. Oh, that's why you were mentioning, like, remember to back those up. Absolutely. Thank you. Said I made a list of all the programs that I had and in other nodes. Yep. And I did a lot of screenshots, says Paul. That's actually a good idea, because I could take those screenshots and throw them onto the laptop or anything like that, just to make sure that I have that archive. It's a really good idea. Yep, you had the same issue the other day. Ask Claude if he could access your settings for those and create a document to print. Ask Claude if we could access your settings for those and create a document to print. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that, Gretchen. Print out what exactly? The duplicates or something else? Like, I'm not sure. Let me know. I had to reset the whole camera and eCam, says Sammy. I had choppy and also frame drop, so similar to that. But as you can see, that, like, if it was just that, then why is this camera working fine? Why is the red, like, is it that it's that much? Excuse me. Excuse me. Is it that is just that much better of a camera that, like, no matter rain or shine, this thing's gonna perform and is gonna give you like the best image no matter what? Because if it is, like, hey, it's definitely living up to that, right? Like, everything else stopped working, and even in the stream that I had a couple weeks ago, that everything went real bad and that I had to restart multiple computers and everything, that camera still was just like holding true. So let's see what we got. All right. Thumbs up left of the monitor in the back plate, black pole near the speaker. So I would give it to you just because you said near the speaker and it wouldn't be a poll, but as soon as his comment leaves, you should be able to see exactly what he's talking about. So if you look in the back, next to the speaker, there's no poll, but if you look at the letter A from the alpha, right over here in the excuse me. If you look at the letter A, the Sony Alpha A, and then just look straight down next to the speaker, right there next to the speaker, that's what got you that point, Paul. So he's on a streak, because last week he got the hat trick. He got all three, knocked it all out. So right there, boop. As you can see, I got to switch it up on you guys. I had to reorient it, and I put it facing up to try to trick the eyes. But good catch, Paul. Good catch. It doesn't look choppy on your TV. Okay, so if I were to go and we're gonna run the test, guys. Okay, so we're going to the main shot, right? This is the one that I'm not happy with, but let me know how it looks to you. To me here, I still see a bit of choppiness, right? It's just not as smooth and not the way that I'm, I guess, accustomed, and the way that I would like. But like I said, this is usable, but it's just not 100% to what I like. But let me know. Gretchen says that she doesn't see any choppiness on your TV. I'm gonna leave it on this shot for a little bit just to see what you guys say. Sammy's got a question. How are you liking the red lens? Oh, I'm actually really liking the lens, like the colors and everything that I'm getting off of it, and it's so much wider. So now, once again, the red camera, the Red One MX, is a Super 35 camera, so that means that it has a 1.1 crop on all of these. So even though it's an 18 millimeter, lens, it's acting like a 27 millimeter. So 27, 28 millimeter is the field of view that you're getting, and right there, like, just, you can record. It's got such a good clean image that you also have the ability to like crop in just a bit, so maybe you can get like a 35-ish like type of look out of it. With Ecamm, it's a simple crop, and in post-production is just the same. So really liking it. Like I said, I'm liking the fall off that you're getting off of the lens, and then on top of that, it's really wide, so you'll be able to use it in a lot of use cases. I wish, Sammy, I wish. I wish there was like a go back button, like within 24 hours or something. Like, hey, this didn't work out, go back to previous settings. Not when it comes to these big like changes. Oh, my headset just turned off, so let me get some music. Interesting. I don't see it there. Oh. Yeah, you guys are familiar. Oh, over here. You're familiar with my Doom boxes. Well, I had to Doom box my desk before we went live, and that's where these guys were. And now, if you're wondering, these are my AirPods, but the ones that I was using previous are my Raycon bone conducting headphones, and those things last for hours. So I've had those on since earlier today, probably since like around 11 noon. So getting 12 hours of battery life out of those bone conducting headphones, they're really working out well for me. The pet computer used cassette tapes before the 5 1/4 floppies. Look at that. Cassette tapes. Like, I remember when I first heard of cassette backups for like servers, and I was like, what? Cassettes? Like, but yeah, like they were able to put all the ones and zeros onto these, like, rolls of film that you would use almost like VHS. And the way the technology has come around, right? But it's all magnetics, right? It's all ones and zeros. It all basically works the same. Craziness. Since my first semester in college, I was on Windows 3.1 software, while my second semester, I was on Windows 95. Wow. Yeah, like, remember Windows 98? Like, believe it or not, I'm not sure if it was Windows 98 or Windows 95, but I actually have in a box like an original copy, license with the booklet in shrink wrap, brand new. I just can't remember if it was Windows 95 or 98. I think it's Windows 98, but still, like, I still have that running around. If it's 95, it's even that much more impressive. Just to print all your application settings. Oh, okay. That makes sense. I'll see how I'll be able to do that, if I'll be able to make a note about it, and then just have that notes, you know, on the system. That's really a good idea. Thanks. Okay, so Gretchen's giving me this information. She says that there's no choppiness and that the audio is perfectly in sync on the main shot. Well, I'm gonna go with it. I will double check it as well, you know, when I take a look at this replay, but I will be doing that. I've been thinking of picking up the PL red lens at some point with the FX30. The FX30, man, I gotta tell you, like, it keeps impressing me. But the new ZR, Sammy, like, the red files are amazing. They are beautiful, but boy, are they chunky. Like, borderline not usable because of how fat these files are. So, for example, earlier today, I dropped a video of the Nikon ZR testing out my Beetle lenses. So now I tested out the Beetle lenses for focus, breathing, overall color, which is where I had mentioned that I threw the S-Log LUT from Sony onto that log footage, and it worked. So with that, right, I made that video. What was it? I'm losing my thread. There's so many things that I'm talking about. Oh yeah, that I'm saying that it was borderline unusable because I mentioned in the video that I would be making the raw files available so that if you wanted to test them out yourself. Now, to give the raw files is directly from the memory card, the way that I would get them so that you can see the footage in all of its glory. Well, that ended up being 6 little clips, and those 6 clips ended up being 60 gigs. So you're talking about 6 clips at roughly 10 gigs a clip. I haven't found a software or something that actually is allowing me to host the file, because everything has its limitations of like 35 megabytes, you know, a gig maybe, not 60 gigs. So I have to now find like a Dropbox or something like that to actually host the big 60 gig files before I could even give them away through a link on the video. So that's exactly where I'm at with that. Like, they look amazing, they are beautiful, and they're easy to work with in post-production. When your Final Cut, you know, or editing file jumps dramatically into 200 into 300 gigabyte file sizes because of, you know, like the footage that you actually have recorded on the camera, you're like, this is a 10-minute video, it shouldn't be 300 gigs. And that's why I said it's almost like borderline unusable. So I'm going to be running some more tests, especially on the other codecs, right? I think the most usable one is not going to be the 6K downgraded to, it's going to be the 4K. Like, maybe still using Red Raw, but still in 4K, and see exactly how big those file sizes are, because like I said, it's chewing through data like crazy. Want to know binary codes? Absolutely, man. And to think about this, right? Like, for those of you who don't know this, that's still what we're using. So everything that you see on any LCD screen, on your phone, on your Surface interface, on the back of your cameras, like anything that's a visual on LCD is still broken down to the basics, which is ones and zeros, and like Nano said, binary coding. That's what everything breaks down to, which is just still so like mind-boggling to me. So Randy says 360k floppy and clip the other side of the disc and get double 720, 144 megabytes, 300 band, 1200, 24, and 2800 at higher. Glad those days are all gone. I still have those disc modems are long gone. That's so funny. 360k floppies. Wow. Thank you, Sammy. So you know more or less what I'm saying about it. So like I said, I decided to give those files away, but it's kind of being impossible for me to give them away because nobody wants to host 60 gigs. Okay, so Gretchen says Meat 2 is on the shelving unit under the MCJ sign. That's one of your 3D printers is on. All right, so let's see what we got over here. We got another shot, another angle. Under, is that what you're saying right there? What? Says Meat 2 on the shelving unit under the MCJ sign. That one of your printers is on. Well, Gretchen, you get the point. Now, I tried to send a decoy, okay, but she did say on the shelving unit that my printer's on. So you won. You got the point. So take a look. Meat 2. But I also tried to decoy with the Insta 360 Go 3, but point for Gretchen. So one for Paul, one for Gretchen. And now the only thing left is the film. All right. Whoa, we're 20 minutes past the hour, guys. Then let's go ahead and finish this off. I was a little late, so I'm gonna let you know I wasn't able to hunt down a city's Gaul, but I was able to make some snap decisions. So that's exactly what we're going to do. This is the part of the show where you interact into the chat because I want to know what you think about these questions. These are a would you rather. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. Bam. And today's snap decisions, right? In a snap, you have to make this decision. Would you rather have perfect lighting in every shot automatically, or perfect audio in every recording automatically? Lighting. I can fix me some audio in post and I can make some magic with it. But fixing lighting in post-production? Nah. So that one was pretty easy for me. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. But if I had to pick like perfect lighting or perfect audio, perfect lighting, because you get the lighting right, man, we'll throw some music just like this right here. You throw a sound bed on this and that video will be amazing. And because the lighting is perfect, it will look amazing. It'll be eye candy. And with that being said, that will be my choice right off the bat. Would you rather? So now, while you guys are answering this, I have not seen these questions ahead of time. This is something that I asked Chad from GPT to set up, and I just copy and paste, and now I'm seeing them for the first time with you. So now I'll give you guys a moment to answer this in chat. I wasn't even at the bottom of the chat, so let me go ahead and continue with that. So Sammy's saying, wow. Says, I have used Ari, Blackmagic, Canon Lutz on the ZR. Nobody noticed on the videos. It wasn't about noticing. It's about like, hey, this is an easy workaround, because if it looks good and you're just adding one LUT, so it's not like I have to convert it to Rec 709 and then try to start color grading it. No, it was literally like log, one LUT. And luckily I held up a gray card, right? So in the shot where I held up the gray card, I just did the little eyedropper for the white balance. Perfect, on point, skin tones, like everything. I was just like, this is amazing. Like, so workflow wise, that looks just perfect for me. Especially with those Beetle lenses. So we'll see how other lenses and things like that will come about, but right now, that's a great workflow. WeTransfer or Dropbox? Dropbox, I think I would have to pay, right? And figure out. WeTransfer is not even hosting files that big. They're not. Like they're like no up to like 25 gigs or something like that. I'm like, okay. So I'm looking into it. I think I'm looking for one that allows up to 1 terabyte of free like cloud space, and if I'm able to do that, my plan is to like I'm doing everything through Fourth Wall, through my Fourth Wall website, so you'll be able to find the link there. Once you download it, you'll get a hyperlink to send you to a file so you could download this 60 gig wherever I'm hosting it. But I got a couple of videos and I got a couple of leads on some 1 terabyte like cloud drives that I'll be able to host that file under. And you see, you'll love to mess around with that. That's the whole point, right? Like to be able to give the raw files. And I was speaking to Alicia, and she was like, hey, why don't you just like, create the file on, like in Final Cut and so on and send it. I go, that's like, that defeats the purpose. I'm trying to give the raw file so that like if I compress it and upload it to YouTube, it's already compressed. Like downloading a raw looking file from YouTube is completely different than loading the raw file. And I know you know the difference, Sammy, but for those who don't. So that's why it's important for me to make sure that I have the capacity, or the program or the app that I'm using could carry that 60 gigabyte file, because it's 60 gigs zipped. It's 60 gigs compressed. It's a little bit bigger than that for those 6 files. It's just crazy. Says the things I'm shooting, I'm less editing. Absolutely. Says once the finished video product is uploaded to YouTube, you get rid of the originals. I back up the YouTube files and send up and use the external drive for storage. Yeah, that's the same thing. Like the video that we're talking about, the one that me and Sammy are talking about, the lens test, because I wanted to upload it in all of its richness with the biggest raw files, that 3-minute video ended up being like 26 gigabytes. So I uploaded it to YouTube. As soon as it uploaded, and it took forever, I got rid of the original because I wasn't gonna just have a 26 gigabyte file just sitting there on my desktop. Thank you, Sammy. I've been having a lot of fun with that as well, but now I'm also going to implement things that are less camera focused, because one of the, like, there's plenty of things actually, just to show you, right? Wait, that's the correct shot, right? Oh, did my phone die? I think it did. Yeah, this is supposed to be my behind the scenes camera. So it looks like my phone died. Or did it just turn off? We will find out. But what I was going to show was more or less that I'd be able to print out a lot more things. Like I was going to say, like my holder for my game controllers, for my headphones, Vision Pro, like even in the, like so many different things like that I've created with 3D printing, just because I had a need for them, that are not specifically for camera, but they are production based. It says it has 20%. Okay, so we're gonna try it again. See, we got it now. Yes. So this is what I was saying. My controllers, my holders. Like for Vision Pro, like there's so many things that surround me on a day to day that are completely 3D printed that I've designed. Is just like countless things. And I was able to do 30 things based around just the photography aspect of it. So imagine all the other nuances that I've done for all sorts of things. Like my controllers, those are universal controller holders. And if you're looking at like oh man, that looks cool, right now you can find the majority of them on Maker World. And you can find me, Mr. Camera Junkie. You can follow me there so that you can get the first dibs on my designs. A lot of my Rig Junkie ultralight kits are there, and a lot of my like long lens mounts and stuff like that. So a lot of the designs that I have created are available on Makerworld. I'm trying to make them both look the same. It's just a lot easier to load things up on my fourth wall than they are on Makerworld. Like there's more steps on Makerworld. I do love it, but like I said, it's just harder. That's why a lot of my designs are going first on my website before even Makerworld. But they'll probably be mirror images of each other fairly soon. So Sammy says lighting. Yes, I agree. Going back to those questions, we got to close out the night. The early PET computer came with two versions. The 4K was the student computer, and the teacher had the 8K computer. Yes, K. Nano also says lighting. Says fixing lighting is horrible. So you feel my pain, because that's exactly what I meant. I'm like, that's like the worst when it comes to that. When it comes to like fixing lighting in post, a lot of times you can't even do it. So if it's like nail the lighting or nail the audio, always nailing the lighting. Hello, mate. How you doing, Andrew? Lighting the same for Randy. You get some RE2K lights. Yeah, those are really nice, especially the price. That was a great video today. Thank you, Randy. Like I said, I'm gonna be just focusing on output and not worry about like the performance of the videos and things like that. I'm just gonna be putting out. I also did a short today that I had a lot of fun with, because once I had the idea, and it actually referenced to the only negative that I have on the Nikon ZR's LCD screen. So I had mentioned before that the only negative of using the Nikon ZR's camera and this beautiful 4-inch screen was having to go back to my Sony cameras with the 3-inch screen. And seeing the small screen is like going from an iPhone 16 to an iPhone 4, and you're like, how did we ever use such a small screen? And I know it's not like that, but it feels like that, going from the ZR to like my FX30 here, right? That I'm like, this is such a little baby screen, right? And when I said that, like I said it just like little baby screen, the picture that I had in my head was of Coach Klein from the movie Waterboy, when he finally loses the fear of the other coach on the other sideline. He says, look at the little baby. So I took the clip from the Waterboy and added it to the end of my vertical like short clip today as like the little thing that I said. I was like, I love the Nikon ZR camera, but the only negative is that when I go back to using my Sony cameras, I feel like, look at the little baby. And I made that short and pumped it out today, so I was having a lot of fun with that as well. LUT, lookup table, absolutely. All right. Yes, I know it's getting late, so gotta run. Have a great week. Likewise. Thanks for hanging out, Paul. Yeah, 60 gigabytes are crazy. No, what's crazy is that one of the clips, just one of the clips that was just maybe a little bit longer, was 128 gigs, Sammy. Like, and then you're throwing that into your editor. So now my Final Cut Pro project file, like I said, jumps 200, 300 gigs in no time. You're like, what is this? And what it is that's the red R3D workflow, right? Most people want to buy a red camera, but they don't even know how much money goes into the data and the storage of all of that footage, because those files they are thick. Like the meme says, that boy thick. Those files are super, super, like super meaty, right? Is that a way to say, like, chunkulous? It says when you just shoot and you don't edit, your work is harder to color grade. Yeah, that's true. But with the, like I said, with the red, it's all about the color grading, like, workflow. It's all about, like, doing it in post-production. So because you're able to change white balance and you're not, like, degrading the footage, you're able to push and pull. Just as long as you're not clipping, you're getting so much out of that footage, man. It is really impressive. Says I never get rid of anything. That's a bad habit. I know it's a bad habit for me too, but unfortunately, that's one good thing that working with this Nikon ZR will quickly get you out of that, because I just had to delete files. I'm like, I'm not gonna use that file. It wasn't even the greatest, and if I need it again, I will reshoot it, and we will reshoot things, and you will not be carrying around, like, that's what I said, like 500 gigs on the card in no time, and just like half a day of shooting. And then where are you gonna put those? Maybe you have a NAS, right, or an unlimited, like, cloud storage service. Go for it, but you need to make sure that you have the infrastructure as far as data goes before you start messing around with these files as, like, your everyday day-to-day. That's just it. Like, but besides that, they look amazing. Like, the files look so good. I mentioned this before. I shot some B-roll with it, and I threw it into the video for the YoloCam S3, and I was compelled to right there and put, like, this video was shot on the Nikon ZR using this lens, because it was night and day better than the rest of the footage on it, that it was just such a stark difference that I had to make sure, like, okay, you guys have to know. If not, I'm gonna get 1,000,001 comments of, like, yo, what camera was that? Because maybe I should have left it, right? We're trying to create engagement in our videos, and I'm over here trying to mitigate engagement so I don't get 1,000,001 questions when I should want that. So, you know what? Note to self. Randy says, also, putting things on the Mac desktop and it saves it to the iCloud, it takes too much time. So I do everything on an external drive. No storage space wasted on the Mac drive. Yeah, that's the whole thing. I'm kind of, like, topped out on all of the external drives. I would have to buy another one, but with this, gonna be tough. Excuse me. Said, had a thought for the Mac app. What was the best way did you build it? It says, have a thought for the Mac app. What was the best way to build your Mac app with? Well, that's what I mentioned. If it's for Mac computers, you're gonna need Xcode, and that's absolutely free. You can just go to the app store and download Xcode onto your computer, and then it will take you through the steps. Then everything else, I will tell you, use your AI and like have it teach you. You understand all the steps and, like, what are the things, like Swift files. Like, I had never heard of none of this stuff, and now I can hold a conversation because I've been back and forth with my digital app creator Claude and the multiple of AIs, and with that I've been able to, you know, accomplish quite a few things. Hey, Slice here says, hi Lewis and fam, just got home. I'm surprised you're still on. Yeah, so am I. We're definitely way past it, and we haven't even finished. Like, I haven't even gotten to the bottom of the comments, but that's what happens when you guys are engaged. Like, the more comments I'm gonna keep, and I haven't even asked 2 of the 3, you know, snap decision questions. Calling him a hoarder. Wow, a light bulb just went off. I remember you have the same name as me since someone mentioned it. Absolutely. I always call you Nano because of it. You understand? So just to reference, because that's exactly how I met you online. Man, that was in the Nez streams. Are you still like hanging out in Nez's streams? I know he totally changed his content. Does it rain cats and dogs? Okay, I'm just trying to. Oh, that's what he's saying. So yes, SSD and RAM prices are through the roof. They are. I've been hearing Linus talk about it. Yes, Xcode. Okay, we got to the bottom, I believe. Yep. Yeah, I know that's your nickname, but that's what I'm saying. Like, respect to that just the same way. Okay, question number 2, and we're gonna finish off the night this way. Question number 2 of Would You Rather. Would you rather post once a week with insane quality or post 3 times a week with solid but not perfect quality? Well, this is also another easy one for me to answer. Can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. But this falls under the done is better than perfect. So post 3 times a week, but not perfect quality. For me, is going to be better than once a week with insane perfect quality. Another reason why, the way that I feel is there is no such thing as perfect. We can strive for it, but there's no such thing, because what I would consider perfect, somebody else would be like, that's garbage. So it's to each his own, and it's trying to be better than you were your last go round, right? Whether it's 1% or 0.5%, just try to be that much better than you comparing you to you, and that's it. That's the only comparison that you should have, is the self building of that. And because of it is where I would say there's no such thing as perfect. Post as much as possible. I'm on a post every day kick, right? I'm going to be posting my longer form videos, and those are the ones that I'm going to be doing weekly, I believe. But at the same time, I'm going to be creating short form content, vertical, that's going to be hitting all the platforms using Opus clips. And like I said today with the little baby, like I'm just going to have an idea and go for it. And that's it. And try to make it as fast as possible. And to give you another example, even the long form video that I did of the test, I wasn't happy with it. So the choppiness that I'm mentioning to you, I think you can clearly see it in that video. So as soon as you were to pop it on, if you were to see it, the first and ending scenes, right? The intro and the outro scenes, I feel are like way choppy. And as soon as you get into some B-roll and the test footage, everything smooths out. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not even just solely for my live stream, but like everything that I'm recording is getting this bit of choppiness, which is why I'm trying to mitigate that. But that's where we're at. All right. Yeah, you haven't been. Yeah, neither have I. It's just, more power to him, so to speak. I wish him all the best. It says once a week. Interesting. You say once a week. I'll be posting once a day, which is, like I said, what I'm trying to do. Suggest cheap best DSLR for streaming. DSLR? Oh, that's tough. Oh, okay. Aiden is asking me for something. Dad, do these. Come on. Say hi to everybody. Oh, I gotta cut his hair. Let's go. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Okay. Mr. Matty said cheap best DSLR for streaming. That's tough as far as DSLR goes, because I would say you can get a less expensive mirrorless camera, but if it has to be DSLR, that's gonna be a little bit tough, because I would say the best DSLR is probably the Canon 80D. I think that's probably like one of the best ones when they were still making DSLR, and that's still APS-C. But as far as specs goes, if I remember, that's probably like the best one for streaming. Then the next best up for streaming is like, I don't even know the price range, that was probably easier, but that's still mirrorless. That would be the M50, but I wouldn't even recommend that, because any Sony, like, that's like newer and like less expensive. Your budget is actually the most important thing. I wouldn't even recommend DSLR. If you're looking like at the 500 range, I would once again suggest like the Sony Ace. Listen to me, the Sony ZV-1F, which is the fixed focal length at 20 millimeters of the ZV-1 line. It's Sony's entry level, and it's got plug-and-play USB webcam. Plus, it gives you 4K recording, S&Q slow motion. But if it's something that you just say, hey, you know what, I'm looking for something streaming, here's another example, and it's not even a DSLR. This little guy right here, this is the YoloCam S3. I've been really impressed with this camera. It's got a 1 1/8 inch sensor, which is a lot bigger than you'd get out of traditional webcams and like cell phones. And it's actually very good in low light. This is running $200, $199, and it's a one cable plug and play webcam that actually gives you mirrorless camera / DSLR type quality. Super convenient, and if you're looking to stream, that's probably going to be your safest bet. It says Nas from the new Creator Club. Okay. It says it depends if YouTube bunches my perfect quality. I would post multiple. Nikon D780. You see, that's also another one. I'm not sure if that one still does. You see, Sammy also mentioned the same thing I did, the 80D or the 90D. Yeah, I think those were the last ones that were DSLRs. But I still recommend like getting something a little bit more up to date, like that YoloCam. It just works. Doesn't overheat. Doesn't need batteries, so it's never gonna run out of batteries. As long as it has a USB connection to your computer, limitless. Yep. And that's still like such, I gotta be honest, like I'm probably gonna pick up another one secondhand, because I sold mine, and that's still one of those cameras that I'm like, man, I wish I had that one, because it fit the gaps of a lot of like content creation holes, so to speak. Like it was just so easy to use, and just grab it, use it. The S&Q on it works so well. I saw a short that I did on it the other day, and I was like, man, that camera really, it did well. It does well. It punches way above its weight, so to speak, especially for the price point. The one that I'm using quite a few. So to give you that behind the scenes shot, so you can see this array. This is the S3, this is the Z30, this is the A6100 from Sony, and this is my Red 1 MX. So this is Sony A6, oh no, I'm sorry, wrong button. This is my Sony A6100, and I have the Blazar Beetle 32mm f3.2 or t3.2 cinema lens on it, which is why you're seeing the extra panoramic. Then this one is my Red 1 MX with my 18mm red lens T1.8 at T4 stop down, and that's the image that you're getting off of that. Then this is my Nikon Z30. So this is also using a TT Artisans 28 millimeter f2.8 lens. It is at f2.8 ISO 400, and that's my Nikon Z30. And then this is my iPhone, and I think that's it. Oh, and then this is my overhead shot. This is my Obsbot Meet 2 4K that allows me to do my overhead shots to show you things in detail, like that fingerprint right there. And that's the array of cameras that I'm using currently on this live stream setup. This shot just looks so good. I'm just gonna be honest with you, like there's a creaminess to it, like the way this laptop falls off into the bokeh. Let's hang out here for a minute. Okay, so we got those. Last question of the day. Man, this is a 2-hour live stream. Okay, would you rather be known as a gear expert that everyone trusts, or creative visionary everyone admires? Ooh, that's a good one. So I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Would you rather be known as a gear expert everyone trusts, or the creative visionary everyone admires? That's a really good question. I think that's a really good question. So big ups to the chat from GPT. I really can't wait to hear your responses on this one, because this one has me thinking. It's almost like that's a really good one, because I think we all have our own creative vision, right? I think we all have our own creative vision, and being admired for your creative vision, I think, is what, I could be wrong, but I think that that's what we all strive for. Now, I think being a gear expert that everyone trusts is what I'm able to do, right? Because I'm just helping people along, which is what I do here. As I mentioned, I help you upgrade your skills before your gear. So if you're interested at learning more about your skills that will allow you to not get caught up in camera hype, then this is the channel that you should subscribe to. So that's what I do, and that's something that I can do because I'm also a gear junkie. So I feel like I am becoming the gear expert that everyone trusts, while at the same time, I would love to be the creative visionary that everyone admires. But I could be completely wrong, and you guys out here actually see me as the opposite, right? As the visionary that's creating his own apps, creating his own, like 3D designs and things like that. So even though that's the way that I would answer it, I would like to be the creative visionary that everyone admires. I would love to hear what you guys think, and what you guys think, which one of these two categories do I fit for you? That's a really good question. If you could answer that for me, I would be indebted to you a million, because as I'm trying to get more info, I couldn't get more information than you who are watching this right now to let me know, how do you see me as a creative on this space? Do you see me more as an expert in the gear, or a creative visionary? Like I said, I see myself more as being able to convey the expertise that I have on the hardware, and at the same time in hopes for somebody to admire me for my creative visionary. So that's where we're gonna leave that there. I'm gonna check your answers right now in the chat, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, wow. Randy says creative visionary. So does Sammy. He says creative visionary. Nano, Tech for your needs. Also says creative visionaries. It goes, I'm no Tom Buck, lol, right? Like you see, you know who are the ones who actually like have that pull because like you admire them for that vision. See, Sammy says, I see both. That's kind of like the way I feel. I feel like I am able to convey my knowledge on camera and gear. Like we were just helping out. I forgot his name. This is the first time I've seen him here. Let me see. Maddie Bai official. So while we were helping Maddie over here, right? Like that's what I'm able to do, to be the expert in the gear, right? And like we say, and a lot of times just people seeing what I'm able to produce, you have visual confirmation of like this person knows what they're doing. They could just see it, so they're able to ask that, and I'm able to help them out as a gear expert, but at the same time striving to get that, you know, Tom Buck visionary type of credential, right? As someone that's been watching your channel for many years, I see both. Oh, thank you. Says, I agree with your explanation. Yep. But if you guys get those in, or if you're watching this on the replay, I would also love to hear what you have to think, right? How do you see me, Mr. Camera Junkie, as a gear expert, or someone that you admire as my creative vision? So I wasn't expecting that question, but I think it could lead to a lot of good things, because at the same time I'm just following my dopamine, right? And I'm over here creating apps for anamorphic lenses and cleaning up your Mac. At the same time, I'm creating 3D camera rigs and printing out and designing everything that my mind can create. And yeah, it's just a lot of things that I've got going. Oh, and for those of you who don't know, I also filed for a preliminary patent on a design for a microphone stand or microphone arm for just about every setup, and something that I can't wait to see on just about every podcast in the world should have a Rig Junkie mic arm attached to it. So I'm working on getting the data back for the production and how much the parts are going to cost, and then I'm gonna be putting together a fundraiser campaign, right? Something like a Indiegogo or is it GoFundMe? I'm not sure, but no, I think it's GoFundMe is different. That's more for like personal stuff. This is like a Indiegogo or a Kickstarter. That was like a Kickstarter crowdfunding campaign for this microphone arm. So these are things that are coming in the future, and if you're interested in any of these, that's just another reason for you to subscribe to the channel. I'm really looking to start growing the numbers as well. We're at close to 2,500, and I want to be at 5,000 subscribers fairly soon, right? So I'm striving to do the work and put out the content and let the chips fall where they may, and that's where I'm gonna leave it, right? So we'll see where this all ends up, but I'm following my dopamines and yeah, just having a blast doing it. So if you're interested in following along, then this is, like I said, you found the right channel. So that's it. Like I said, guys, I wish I had a cities goal, but I did flop on that. But we did a 2-hour live stream, so hopefully that made up for it. So yep, everybody's saying goodnight. So with that being said, guys, thank you as always for making this my favorite place to be every single week. We did it. This was episode 272, and if you're wondering what that number is about, that's 272 consecutive weeks of the Camera Junkie live stream without skipping a beat. And we're going to be doing it all over again next week. So I am a beacon of consistency, if nothing else. So make sure you mark it down on your calendars, set an alarm, reminders, do all the things. The Camera Junkie live stream, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Saturday night, right here on the Mr. Camera Junkie YouTube channel. So take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you next week. Talk to you.